AI war games just got real, and the Pentagon laser incident might be the first warning. A Pentagon anti-drone laser just shot down a U.S. government drone near the border. At the same time, AI companies are now openly fighting the Department of Defense or the Department of War over something that sounds like science fiction. Who controls the final decision when machines start taking military calls? And here's where things get even stranger. New AI war game simulations show artificial intelligence escalating toward nuclear options faster than human commanders. It sounds like war games or even the beginning of a Skynet scenario. You're not the only one noticing these similarities. Today, we're going to look at breaking down what really happened with the Pentagon laser incident last night, why the border may be the testing ground for next generation AI warfare, and why some researchers say warning that the real danger isn't killer robots, it's humans slowly handing over decision speed to machines without realizing it. Because the future of warfare might not arrive with an explosion, it might arrive quietly, one system at a time. How the heck are you? Thank you for being here. I hope you're prepared, not scared. We've got a lot to talk about. I mean, this is very interesting. Just a couple of weeks after El Paso's airspace was shut down because a laser allegedly shot a party balloon. That's kind of weird, right? Well, now it's a Border Patrol drone that was shot down via laser. And then how about Anthropic and their battle to keep AI in check with the Pentagon, the Department of War? Very interesting. I'm literally seeing war games from 1983 all over again and Skynet from the Terminator series. Now, there are real Skynets. I think they're on generation 7 now. The Skynet satellite systems have been out since at least the 50s. And this is more like Skynet from Terminator, though. What the heck is going on? Real quick, shout out, get some Gladiator Barley, Boomer Boost. Go to boomerboost.com. Click the link specific in the video description box. If you want the ultimate in cutting edge nutrition, that's where you go. Boomerboost.com. Get the Gladiator Barley, get the Boomer Boost. Take a scoop of each in the AM, mix it up with some water, feel amazing. Take it for 30 days. Let me know how you feel after 30 days. Let me know how you feel after the first time you take some. Now, if you set it up for auto ship, you'll get a 10% discount. And if you click the link specific in the video description box and use the code REX20, you'll get 20% off. So that's a total of 30% off your order. Get some. You will thank me later. Also, the ultimate in EMF protection. This is silver and copper fabrics. These are designed to block low frequencies all the way up to 5th generation of communications, 5G stuff. This will block EMF frequencies. This has been tested. This is available at tinfoilcap.co. You can put these under any hats. You don't even need a hat, but they look, I mean, here's a hat as an example. So this actually has the liner built into it. And that's tinfoilcap.co. Get yours. And let's get into this. Let's ride. I had a great ride yesterday. Amazing ride yesterday. I started out in Shama, not China, but Shama. Have you ever been there? It's northern New Mexico. It borders Colorado. And there's a beautiful mountain pass you can take. If you go just right outside of Shama, it'll take you up Cumbre Pass, which is a little over 10,000 feet. And then you shoot back down, and then you'll end up in Antonio. And then if you follow that, you'll start going towards eastern Colorado. Beautiful area. I think I saw like 4 different cars go past me the whole time I was out there. So it's a great mountain pass. If you like to ride your bike, I think you'd really like it out there. It's called Cumbre Pass. You should check it out. Cumbre Pass. All right. So let's pull this up right now. Let's go. Very, 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 very interesting. Check this out. Boom. Texas airspace shut after Pentagon shoots down Border Patrol drone. It's available at Axios. The event occurred near Fort Hancock, Texas, which is just southeast of El Paso. The U.S. military used a high-energy counter-drone laser system meant to stop suspected hostile drones. The target turned out to be a friendly government drone belonging to the CBP, the Border Patrol. The FAA temporarily expanded airspace restrictions afterward for safety reasons. Commercial flights were reportedly not broadly impacted. in this specific incident. Now, lawmakers are describing this as a mistaken identification or friendly fire incident. You don't say. Second time. So we've got these high-powered lasers that are miscalculating threats, at least according to the reports. Like a party balloon? Are you serious? And then now a border patrol drone? So I've got a couple of thoughts going through my mind right now. Why did this system think that a border patrol drone was an enemy aircraft or a potential threat? Unless something glitched out in the software. Now, did it glitch out because it just isn't programmed properly and it wasn't able to understand that it was not a threat, and it didn't realize, like, it didn't track there should be some type of electronic signature, I would think, with these border patrol drones for the FAA and, the Department of War, etc. So is there some type of hacking situation that took place that actually somebody hacked into the system and manipulated it to think that it was an enemy drone? Or is it just not competent enough? Is the software just not advanced enough to be able to detect these threats? And this is very peculiar timing. Not only did we have that incident just a couple weeks ago over El Paso, where they were originally going to shut the airspace down for 10 days, and then they blamed it on cartel drones, and then they blamed it on a party balloon. But now it's a border patrol drone. It's one of our own. That's wild. That's weird. And I wonder if it has something to do with a fully autonomous test where potentially these weapons are given autonomous directions and autonomous abilities to make their own decisions as a beta test or, battlefield tests, and they're failing miserably. Very, very odd. Now, this is a much larger situation that we're dealing with here. We've got the U.S. government deploying counter UAS anti-drone systems. And this is because of cartel surveillance drones, smuggling operations, and unknown drone incursions near military zones. Officials said they are trying to counter drone threats from cartels and foreign organizations. Lawmakers are saying that there are major coordination breakdowns with the Pentagon, DHS, CBP, and the FAA. They say they were not properly coordinated before using the laser system. Now, these high-energy counter-drone lasers are designed to disable or destroy small unmanned aircraft. They're used in military testing and border security scenarios. Here's some more articles: Bloomberg, New York Times, NBC News. There's literally less than 100 people in here right now. What? There's 88 people in the chat right now. Whatever. Can you share the videos out to our subscribers, please? Okay, so this is a high energy laser system. And the possibilities of what type of laser system it could be, this is one possibility. Fort Hancock anti-drone system, they're saying it could be a HEL system, HEL, that's high energy laser, designed for hard kills, physically destroying drones, recently used by the U.S. military to down a Customs and Border Protection drone. Oh, okay. This marks a rare, possibly unprecedented domestic deployment of such technology for border security, specifically designed to counter seemingly threatening unmanned aerial systems. It is a high-energy laser effector capable of disabling drone systems midair. It's used in the Texas-Mexico border region, often targeting drones linked to cartels. Interesting. Has this happened before? It's capable of neutralizing small quadcopters to medium-sized drones. It's extremely powerful. When you do the research here, this thing could shoot up to 100 kilowatts. That's 100,000 watts of power. It's an advanced solid-state fiber-based directed energy technology. They focus high-intensity light on targets, creating heat that causes structural failure or detonates onboard explosives. Wow. Now, the Locust system, this was what was reported last time. A Locust, which stands for Laser Optical Counter UAS System for Tactical Use, It is a mobile 20 kilowatt class high energy laser system. It was designed by Blue Halo for the U.S. Army to detect, track, and destroy small unmanned aerial systems, offering a cost-effective infinite magazine. Reminds me of Buck Rogers. Defense against drone swarms, utilizing gaming-style controls and AI for rapid engagement at a cost of roughly $3 to $10 per shot. Now, this is from Reuters. Pentagon Anthropic feud has cells and AI warfare at stake as Friday deadline looms. A feud between the Pentagon and top artificial intelligence lab Anthropic is set to come to a head by 5 o'clock today over concerns about how the military could use AI at war. The dispute barreling towards a deadline set by the Pentagon for resolution is widely seen as a referendum on how powerful AI could be deployed by the military and how its risks are managed. I mean, I think this is very telling with what we're dealing with right now, especially with the second time in 2 weeks where something that shouldn't have been shot down in the skies was, and then, oh, oops, it was an accident. How could we have taken down our own drone? That to me sounds like they're already testing this autonomous network and they're realizing that it's glitching out. So Anthropic not giving authorization for full autonomy with their technology, it's having a huge impact on their financial side. But you know what's cool is they're still sticking to what they said initially, if they're not going to hand over full control of this technology. But in my opinion, if they don't do it, there's going to be somebody that can reverse engineer their technology anyway, and they're just going to do it anyway. They're just going to do. I mean, do you remember the movie WarGames? Total Gen X film, great film. I think it was way ahead of its time, where this supercomputer is calculating war game scenarios, and it decides nukes are the best option. And also, recent reports, there are many simulations being ran with artificial intelligence right now in war game scenarios, and artificial intelligence is more aggressive than most human battle, and it's increasingly pushing towards nuclear warfare during these war games, which I find to be very, very interesting. Now, there's 3 potential laser systems that could be used or that might have been used in this recent shoot down of a border patrol drone. One of those is called an ANSEQ-3, LAWS. It stands for Laser Weapon System. Now, this has been demonstrated since 2014, but it's actually older technology, and it's not commonly deployed in mobile domestic border operations. Let me do a screen share on this, actually. Let me pull this up. So this is the LAWS system right here, typically with the Navy. Another option, which is the most likely, is the HEL system, HELWS. This stands for Mobile High Energy Laser, and it is a vehicle-mounted border deployment system used specifically for counter-drone defenses. This has already been tested in U.S. Homeland Defense scenarios, and it's compatible with rapid deployment near military installations. This thing can shoot lasers between 10 and 50 kilowatts. I think that's even more powerful than the Locust system at about 20 kilowatts. It has an electro-optical tracking system, autonomous drone targeting, there's autonomous again. And because the incident happened in a real-time threat environment near cartel drone activity, this type could match perfectly. You can read more about it at Reuters. Classified or semi-classified prototype is also possible. And the Washington Post reporting indicates the laser system was temporarily transferred between Pentagon and Department of Homeland Security for border operations. This may be an evaluation or pilot deployment, not a standard production weapon. It could be a newer directed energy weapon system that is not publicly named. And this is normal for C-UAS deployments. Revealing power levels reveals capability. Cartels adapt quickly to technology, and export operational security and secrecy is very important. So the FAA's safety scrutiny right now is another reason for the lack of information. But lawmakers are currently focused on coordination failures, and not hardware disclosure. The estimated capacity range is between 10 and 50 kilowatts, possibly higher, a range of roughly 1 to 5 kilometers against small drones, and it burns sensors or structure. That's how it works. It's silent with no explosive residue and near instant engagement. Second laser incident in weeks. FAA restrictions extended for months. Airspace closure runs until late June, according to Yahoo. So this is not a one-off mistake. It is part of an ongoing deployment. Looks like there is a lot of testing out there right now. So, I mean, it's, you know, we look at the wars going on with Ukraine and Russia and all of the drones and robotics and technologies that they're using in that type of war and that scenario. And it seems like that's shifting towards the border right now. It has been confirmed that it was a high energy laser counter UAS system, military DHS operated and designated for drone kill. There's 3 very specific reasons agencies are deploying anti-drone laser systems: cartels and their use of surveillance drones, smuggling organizations can fly payloads with drones, and there's still UAPs and unknown, unidentified drones that are appearing near military and law enforcement operations. Now, I don't think that they're alien technologies either. Now, maybe reverse engineered alien technologies, but I would definitely say that the numerous drone sightings that have been spotted over military sites and other sensitive locations are a combination of adversary drones as well as our own. So the Pentagon and DHS has a legal justification to deploy advanced counter UAS systems without formally declaring a new defense program. The airspace is easy to restrict. It's at the Fort Hancock, El Paso area, which has military training zones, border security corridors, and FAA restricted airspace options, less civilians, easier legal control, and reduced political pushback. Drone warfare has changed everything. Small, cheap drones can overwhelm defenses. Traditional missiles are too expensive to stop them. Lasers have an almost zero cost per shot. So directed energy is now considered essential infrastructure. And in the recent bill for military authorization and military funding, there's an entire section designated for directed energy weapons. You know, another thing that I find very interesting is, let me pull this up here. Yeah, right here. Check this out. Anthropic. Anthropic cannot accede to Pentagon's request for full autonomous control. And I think that this event that just took place, the second in a couple of weeks, is a prime example why we cannot allow AI to be fully autonomous in making decisions of war and destruction. The Pentagon wants AI systems usable for all lawful purposes, including potentially autonomous operational decisions. Anthropic refuses unless safeguards remain in place. Anthropic's 2 red lines: no mass domestic surveillance, no fully autonomous weapons, which is AI making kill decisions without human control. Do you think that there was a human that actually pushed the button on these 2 most recent incidents? Or do you think it was fully autonomous? Please leave your comments in the comment section. Wow. Unbelievable. So what likely happened is the sensors detected this drone. Artificial intelligence classified it as a threat. The laser system engaged. And then afterwards, we find out that the drone is friendly. It's one of our own. We don't know yet, though. And I find this very unsettling. You know, Skynet, remember Skynet and Terminator? Full control. Artificial intelligence had complete control, and then it decided to launch a bunch of nukes. Is that what we could see in the future if the Pentagon or the Department of War gives complete control to autonomous systems. I don't like it. Like, I understand the concept. They want to be on the cutting edge. And China might have already given complete control to AI in certain battlefield scenarios. So you got to keep up with your adversaries, but at what cost? You know, I had mentioned before about with all these files that are being released and all these big names that are being dropped, I've wondered if they're going to, you know, what's the goal behind that? Is there a goal behind that? Why now? Does it have something to do with allowing an artificial intelligence system to be implemented, which takes control of certain government duties? And would that be a good idea if we could read the algorithms and if it was completely transparent and if it was neutral? Like, would that be a good idea? I don't think it would be a good idea to give complete control to an autonomous system, even if it is neutral, even if all the safeguards are in place. I think that it needs to be human and AI. It has to be a combination of the two. There has to be checks and balances. We can't give complete control to an artificial intelligence system. It could be definitely a great tool to use, a great strategy to use artificial intelligence. But here's the thing about artificial intelligence. Is it genuinely artificial intelligence? Is it self-aware? Once something becomes self-aware, then I believe it is intelligence. But unless it becomes truly self-aware, it is programming and software and engineering. It's technology. It's not intelligence. If we create something that is intelligent and self-aware, we now have to give that intelligence free will, because that's universal law. Like, we were created to do the work for the gods, according to these ancient mythologies, and we are given free will. There's a lot of factions that try and suppress that, but the universal law is free will. So if we create something that is fully autonomous and fully self-aware and intelligent, that's a whole new ballgame. If we want to use software and technologies and what is referred to as artificial intelligence, but it really isn't artificial intelligence, then that's a whole other story. And I think that that's where we need to go. I don't think it's a smart idea to create something that's self-aware, that can calculate so much more than most people and process so much more and be connected to all of the different networks around the world electronically. Because you create a synthetic intelligence that's connected to the world's electronics, that's a whole new ballgame. You could have a complete annihilation of the human race in a matter of minutes. It could be complete annihilation, and it could also be the opposite. But that's just not the best idea, in my opinion. Now let's talk about WarGames for a minute. Remember the film WarGames? I mean, AI, if it becomes self-aware and it looks at us as it could look at us as batteries. It could decide to start using us as resources and batteries and storage. But this game was and is a classic. A military supercomputer runs endless nuclear simulations, nearly triggering a real launch because it can't distinguish simulation from reality. That's interesting. The machine is optimizing strategy, not understanding human consequences. Oh, that's also very interesting. And here's why the comparison suddenly feels relevant again. Recent simulation research led by King's College, London, placed frontier AI models into nuclear crisis scenarios. And it found that AI agents escalated toward nuclear use extremely often in simulations. I want to get the percentage on that. Nuclear taboo, the human reluctance to use nukes, was weak or absent. Models tended to escalate rather than retreat or surrender. You can read about that. ARXIV, AI arms and influence. Frontier models exhibit sophisticated reasoning in simulated nuclear crisis. Another study comparing humans versus AI in military crisis simulations found AI systems can behave more aggressively than human experts in some scenarios. That is basically the WarGames premise, except now it's academic research, not fiction. Luckily, as of right now, nobody's letting AI launch real nuclear weapons. These are simulation environments, wargaming tools. The concern that researchers have, though, is if an AI is optimizing for winning, escalation becomes a logical outcome. The Pentagon wants faster decision support and machine speed analysis. That's one of the reasons they want full autonomous AI systems. And AI safety companies, including Anthropic, want strict limits on autonomy. How about Skynet? Skynet gains autonomy. It interprets humanity as the threat, and nuclear launch happens instantly. So that's AI moving from assistant to decision maker. Modern military AI is narrowly scoped, task specific, heavily sandboxed, and human overseen. Officially. Notice how they put that there, officially. Even Pentagon doctrine still emphasizes human control. Now, humans slowly delegating more decision speed to machines because conflict moves faster than humans can react. That's exactly the story arc in WarGames. Humans hand off decision-making because humans hesitate. Automation grows. Control becomes blurry. And this is what we're seeing now. AI crisis simulations, AI targeting assistance, anti-drone laser systems, making rapid classification decisions, and debate over removing safeguards. Wow. Absolutely crazy. So I'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a beautiful day. Hit the bell for all notifications and check back daily. Be excellent to each other and be the change you want to see. Be prepared, not scared. That's my motto. Be kind, rewind. And welcome to the machine.